Here we are. We are in Shmuel Aleph and chapter 6. We're starting a brand new chapter. And it says, Vayi Aaron Hashem Bizdei Plishtim. So it was when the Aaron of Hashem, the Ark of Hashem, was in the field of the Plishtim. It was how many months? Shiva Chadashim, 7 months. It was there for a whole 7 months. And Matsuda Sion says, what does it mean? The field of the Plishtim, it really means like in the land of the Plishtim, the Philistines. And the Malbim, and he starts with, he says, he's looking at the word Vayi, and says, Sefer ki archu hayamim ad zayin chadashim, that the length of the story, length of the days is going to be for 7 months. V'lo saru hamakot mehem, and the plagues did not remove themselves from the Plishtim. And from this, since they had it for 7 months, and the plagues had not gone away yet, so they saw that it was not mikra, it was not happenstance. Why? Mikra lo yatmid, because a happenstance doesn't continue, right? If something just is an accident, so the accident goes away after a while. You know what they did about a cold, right? When you get a cold, when a person gets a cold, so you go to the doctor, and the doctor diagnoses it with all those years of experience, and says you have a cold. Okay, so you say, so what should I do for the cold? He said you take some 2 aspirins every 4 hours, and docs, how long should it take? It should take about 3 to 4 days, and you should be through it. And if you don't take the aspirins, so it'll still be gone in 3 to 4 days. What do you need the aspirins for? To stop the pain. That's what you need it for. Whatever the case is going to be. So here they said the same thing. What do we have? If it happens, it should go away, but it should go away. It shouldn't be continual. Hemorrhoids, absolutely, it doesn't last forever. But here they were seeing it going for 7 months, so now they knew something was wrong. Fine. Vayikru Pelishtim, so the Pelishtim called the Kohanim, the Kosvim, to the Kohanim, to the priests, to their priests, and to these diviners, Lamor, saying, Ma na'aseh la'aron Hashem, what should we do to the Ark of Hashem? Hodi unu, inform us, tell us what to do. But man, it shall chenelim komo. Let us know what manner we should send it back to its place. We're tired. So Rashi says, how should we send it back? Rashi says, explain this. In what manner should we send it back that we won't get Hashem angrier at us? We don't want Hashem to be angry with us. Okay. And so Malbim says on this, Vikru, and they called and they said to them, what should we do? So they had really 2 questions. One, what should we do to the Ark of Hashem, which means if they sent it to its place, should they send it to its place? Oh, yagvu etzlam, or should they keep it with them? That's the first question. Then second one, im yachlitu, if this decide ki matzrichim lahashivo limkomo, that is necessary to return it to its place. Sha'alu, so then they asked, Hodi unu b'meh nisholchenu limkomo. Let us inform us how we should do it, which means im yishalchuhu ba'agala or yisa'u b'katev. Namely, should we send it back on a wagon or should we carry it on our shoulders? Im yichalu panav b'mincha or yishalchuhu reikam. Should we send it with a gift offering to God or should they send it empty? And that's why they called to the priests, and that's why they called to the diviners. Ki pashara she'ela echad, because they the answer to the first question, Yadu HaKosvim, the diviners would know. Why? Shem Yodim HaDavam Ne'elamim Atavim L'Sgulim Elohim, because they are the people, the diviners are the people who know the hidden secrets and the hidden natures and all these things. They also know about their magic. Im hamake hashgachit o al pi mikra, and they know through their divining whether this is something that is a natural, a plague that is coming from Hashem, or something that's just accidental. V'im telech me'itam ayidei yeshivu et Aaron olo. So then they went from them when they wanted to know whether to return the ark or not. Upashu she'ela shniya yadu kohanim, and that's what the kohanim would know. Vehem yodim, why? Because they know eich yitnahagu im devarim hukdashim. They know how to conduct themselves with holy objects. And how to honor them. And how to appease the face of Hashem with a gift. So you're going to your experts. You want to make sure who is, you don't go to a GP for brain surgery. It's not a smart thing to do. Okay, so what you want to go is to the people who know what the nature of the ark is and what the nature of God is. And again, even though these people did not believe in a monotheistic God, what they did have in the Philistines' mind was the mode of conduct and behavior that would be. And they assumed one God is like any other God, right? Think about that. I mean, most people will honor God in the same way. Whatever they consider God, they're going to honor. So when it came to the piece of Dagon, what they wouldn't walk over. Remember, at the threshold, they wouldn't walk over that, showing it respect and so on and so forth. You have people, if you update that today, you have people going to a church. What's the first thing they do? I don't know what the first thing they do is. I'm guessing they take off their hat, if TV is correct. Okay, so they take off their hat and they to show respect. If you're a Muslim, we talked about this before, they'll take off their shoes to enter their place. There's a sense of holiness, and people want to conduct. A Jew, the conservative Jew, I don't know what the Reform Jews do, but the conservative Jew, even though he doesn't wear a kippah outside, when he's going into the sanctuary, it used to be when you walk into the shul.
Right.
That's changed tremendously. Yeah. Now you can walk into the shul and not wear a kippah. But it used to be that the minute you walked into the shul, you would take the kippah out of your pocket, which you always had anyway, and put it on your head, because it was derech eretz for the building. It was cover for the building. And then wherever you would go, so I used to call it the island of Judaism. Yeah. That's what the synagogue was, an island of Judaism. Like I said, in the Reform, some people told you to take the hat off because it wasn't worth it. So I don't know what they do. Today, certainly they don't. Today, certainly they still don't wear a kippah in the building. I don't even know if they wear it during services. They don't wear it in the sanctuary. I can tell you that, because when I went to to hear the speech, and even when I went to hear something else, it was in their sanctuary, nobody donned a kippah, which you would never find at a conservative shul. If you walk onto the sanctuary, you have to put a kippah on. Okay, so again, that was just Orthodox are always wearing it, so it doesn't really matter which building you're going into. But that's what I'm saying. So they knew, that's why they would go to the priests who knew how to conduct themselves. So that's pretty clear.
In other words, the belief in those days where each group, whatever it was, each nation, each tribe had their own particular god or set of gods. And they knew that this other group, well, they've got their own god too. Maybe we should show some kind of respect to their god.
Well, that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But they didn't go to the dentist to find out how to conduct themselves with God. So they went to the priest. They went to the experts in the field. Right. Because they said, God is a God.
Yeah.
God's a God. So if God is a God, then, some gods are cruel, some gods are this, but they all can be appeased in the same way. You give a gift. I mean, even if you look at Torah says you have to give a mincha offering, you have to give this offering, that offering. Well, God doesn't eat offerings. So God doesn't eat. God's not a human. So, it doesn't. Why should God require that of us? And we see that other people do it too. Again, the operational part of service seems to be the same in many cultures. So now what happens is they said, so if it's going to be that way, that is the same. So our priests will know how to handle this God. And if they don't, they can do research too. Maybe they'll call the local Jewish guy up and say, how do you deal with your, they'll have a convention of Kohanim. What can I tell you? But they apparently, that's why they would go. Because they said, we have to know how to do this properly. Okay. So then it says, Vayomru, and they answered, they said, Im mishalchem et Aron Elokei Yisrael, if you are going to send the ark of the God of Israel, then al tishalchu oto rekam, do not send it back empty. That's not. Do not send it away. Excuse me, empty. Ki hashev tashiva lo asham. Rather, you should send it with a guilt offering. Az terafu v'nodalachem. Then you will be cured, and it will be known to you. Lama lo tasur yadomikem, and it will be known to you why his hand would not turn away from you. So that was their answer. So Malbim explains, Vayomru, and they said, Hine, hey magdim teshuva l'she'ela shniya. They answered the second question first. Ki al she'ela rishon, because on the first question, V'hu im yishalchu o lo, whether or not they should send it, lo yadu adayin lahashiv. They still didn't know how to answer if they should return it or not. Ki gam em ayu mesupakim v'davar, because they also were suspect. They didn't know. They're still not figuring out, is this happenstance or is it from God? Fine. So then you will see if the way of his border it will go up. Lo, and if not, so if the ark doesn't go back to its border, as it were, we're going to put it in the wax. We'll give it a gift. If it doesn't go back home, so we know that this is not from Hashem. So that is why they're going to use, and we're going to find out that they're going to put on young calves. Young calves. But on the second one, Yadu Shuva, they knew a clear answer. That's why they answered the second question first. Also, they had to prepare the guilt offering in the beginning, before they even did the test with the wagon. Because they're going to have to give the gold and everything else. It takes time to get together. And that's why it says, that's why it said, if you send the ark of the God of Israel back. We still don't know if that's necessary to send it. Rock only with this we do know. But if we do know after this test that we do have to send it back, then you should know you should not send it empty, but rather you should send it with a guilt offering. Then you will be healed. Because if it's clear that the makkah, that the plague came as a result of the Aaron, ba'avor habuz ve'kalon shasitum lo, and because of the disgrace that you did with the ark, v'holichtam oto shevi l'fnei tzar, that you took it as a captive, as im tishalchu below asham. So then, if you're going to send it without a guilt offering, hagam ki baza tarvichu ki yanuch yadom yachotom obatim. So then, also with this, he's going to he's going to continue his hand against you, even in the future. V'chol zeh lo yitraseh aleichem ala avar So with all this, they didn't. It wouldn't become appeased about the past. Lo yirpo lechem lahaga b'hem, and he won't heal you from this. Aval im tashivu lo asham, but if you give it back with a guilt offering to appease God, al lachet ha'avar, on the past sin that you did, yirapu, then he's going to heal you. Gam hamochim. Becholim, also the sickness and the sicknesses. V'gam im lo yaspik ha'asham, and if the guilt offering is not going to be enough, la'ashichor al kapanim, even if you send him a small gift, right, and it's not going to appease him, no delechem lemalota sorma yadomikem. At least you'll know why he did not remove his hand from you. Notice he didn't remove the plague from you, which means sha'az behechrach yodiacham al yedin neviach and neviachem kosmechem. Then by force they will inform you through your prophets and your diviners. Shata b'chornu yehavnu, that that now is in his anger, that he's bringing this up from you on that what you did to his land, in this land. Ma'asi b'shlotasa, and that would be the reason that he did not remove his hand from you. V'zeh nuchal lahodiak malasot o lashiv apo v'chamoto. And once that happens to you, you're going to know what you need to do in order to get rid of his anger altogether. So that's, by the way, the Malbim's real question, even though we went through it, is why not answer the first question first, second question second? And the reason they even asked that question is because the rabbi said that that the proof that you're a wise person is that you answer the first question first, second question second. You don't answer the second question first and then the second question last. The first, second, last. Now, the interesting is most people, if you think about it, will answer the last question first, because that is what's most on their minds. And so that it means, and what usually happens, by the way, if I answer the last question right away, I normally forget the first question. And that's why the Torah is saying, a smart man answers the first question first, then the second question. It shows you have a memory span of more than 30 seconds. Because now I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing what you want, and I'm saying, okay, you want this and you want that. So here they're saying these people listened, but the problem was that they didn't know what the answer was. They weren't sure if this is happenstance or not. Is it mikra? Is it hashgacha? They didn't know. So we can't answer what we don't know. That's also a mark of a smart person. You don't answer a question that you don't know the answer to. You're a politician. By the way, if you listen to most politicians, they never answer the question that was asked of them. They never do that. They answer the question that they want to talk about. That's why we call it the talking points or the stump speech. But they never really answer. If you go to all these, we had plenty of opportunities to watch the debates or the city council, whatever they call it, the town hall meetings. Yeah. And what the guy would ask a question, and then the politician would answer what he wanted to answer, and never really saying, "Well, did I answer your question?" Because that's not like any good lawyer. You never ask a question you don't know the answer to, right? So, but that's really what's going on here. Okay, so now Dalit. Vayomru, and they said, Ma ha'asham ashinashivlo. So, okay, fine. You told us to send a gift offering. So now what kind of guilt offering. What kind of guilt offering should we send? Vayomru, and they answered a mispar son. They Pelishtim, the number of the lords of the Pelishtim, Chamisha Apole Zahav. They said 5 hemorrhoids of gold, v'chamisha igvei zahav, and 5 mice of gold, ki magifa achat lechulam u'l'sarchanechem, because there is one plague for all of them and for your lords. So they have to get 5. It's a lot of gold they're putting out there. 5 gold hemorrhoids, and 5 gold images of mice.
Hemorrhoids.
Huh?
Hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids. What does it look like?
What do they mean?
It's a bump, I guess. I don't know what hemorrhoids are.
Just a swollen blood vessel.
That's all. Okay.
I mean, I've never heard the expression used in conjunction with measuring something. You know.
Oh, again, they're saying that this is what happened, so I don't say I understand everything. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think in polytheism, if you were praying for something like a disease, then you made an image of that disease
If you pray for the disease or pray to be healed from the
to
disease?
be healed from
Okay.
the
Well, that would actually make sense because, where was it? Is in the Torah where it says that they made, when they were bitten by the snake. So what does Hashem say? Make a copper snake, or make a snake, and put it on the staff. It doesn't say copper, that's learned out. But it says make a staff so that when you look at the staff and you have in mind that I'm the one who gives you the plague and you do tshuva, it's not, in other words, it's not the snake that kills, it's me, God, that kills. So if you look at that, so then you'll be healed. So it could be the same thing. Nachmanides says something about you're saying. Bill wants to suggest that the reason it was hemorrhoids was because in the ancient world, there was a belief that if I have a disease of some sort, then I have to make that disease and then pray on behalf of that. Say, take it away, basically. And I'm saying that there was that concept in the Torah with when the Jews were bitten by the snakes, by the snakes after they spoke Lashon Hara. So what happened was Hashem told Moshe to put the snake on the staff, and anybody who would look at it would be healed. Right? That's what it says. And so but the snake doesn't, the copper snake doesn't, or the snake doesn't heal. It's a matter of I look to the snake and realize it's all from Hashem. And I daven to Hashem to take that away. That's the same sort of concept you're talking about with the emeralds. But it's interesting also, do you know that what's the symbol, medical symbol? The snake on the staff.
Yeah.
Right. Look at this and you will be healed. They missed the point. Right. And also the non-Jewish world misses the point with that because they think that if I look to that is what's going to heal me, which is probably where they got the cross from. The
what?
The cross.
Yeah.
The cross. Why do I look at a cross? In other words, I'm looking at a person. I'm looking at if I'm a Christian. If I'm looking at my God or my manifestation of God on a cross, and most of them would have him like this hung. He's dying. He's a weak. He wasn't made strong, so a weak guy. Okay, but why am I looking to that? Because I want to be healed. Right? I'm looking to that as a focal point, whatever the case is going to be. But what I'm saying is where that stuff comes from, besides the Romans, which would be the cross and how they did it. But I'm thinking that I could be wrong, totally wrong. It could be totally off base. But I'm thinking it's coming from the same sort of concept that when you look at the cross, what do they say about Jesus? What do we say? We say nothing. But what do they say about Jesus? That Jesus died for their sins, right? That's the famous thing, died for their sins. So what would make sense? I look to the thing that, going with what you're saying, I look to that symbol, and through that, I become healed. I become saved. Okay? I think that's where that's where the whole concept comes from.
Yeah, I think they call that sympathetic.
Okay?
Where they with the pathos is
right.
You know.
It could be. Like I said, I'm thinking about it. That could be where a lot of this stuff comes from, where you look at all this iconology and say, okay, they were symbolic of something. It would make sense. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're focusing. Okay.
There's a principle within polytheism that when you have another people and they have a powerful God, you just add it. You
right.
Just constantly add it.
Okay. But now they don't want to add, they want to get rid of it.
but they're
right.
trying to use their own.
Correct. He's using their own headache. They're using their own head here. Correct. So now it says, Vayomru, again, the album's going on this. Vayomru, the Umma Shetafsu Bilshonam. So now since we're using the language, Ki Chashev Tashivalo Asham, that they're going to return to him, you should return to him the guilt offering. Shalosh and Hashaval, Lo Yitztak Rock, in Meishiv Davar Ba'atzmo, Shava. Okay, so what I want. I'll run through it, but it is what the Malbim is doing now is looking at language, and he's saying Shalashon Hashava lo Yizdak. The language of Hashava, of returning, is not correct except if you're going to return it by itself, namely the asham or the guilt offering. Kamo, like it says, like you return the guilt offering in its principle, shmejiv hamao shegazal, which means that you're returning the money that you stole. Ki al havad mincha v'zevach hayasaruk lamam shaviosham, and through bringing the offering and the sacrifice, it's necessary to say that they brought the asham. Sha'alu ma asham nashib. So they asked, what is this asham that we should return? And this go to what Bill was saying. How can we form this guilt offering and the sin itself? What form can we make for this? And it wasn't. They weren't intending to say that we should return it, but rather that we should bring an asham offering. They didn't want to return because returning means giving back to its original owner. Here, you don't give the asham to its original owner. That's a fine that you're going to give, or the guilt offering you're going to give. Vayomer, and they said, Ba'aru lahem, and so they explained to them, Ki acha sha'aita hamaka v'tzora techorim ivagvarim. After that, we had the plague in the form of hemorrhoids and mice. So that by force, the plague has to do something with the sin. Because the sin and the transgression dresses itself in the form of the destroyer that causes the sin, as is known. You understand? This is again what we're just talking about. Okay, is that me? Oh, that's me this time. Okay. V'hechrach ki hasham shalechem haya b'tzora, and by force the guilt offering was this form. Ve'echo zeh ki ilu b'tzora, and how it was done with this form. Zod chatatam, that was their sin, opposite God's honor. V'im tashiva tzora zod hamishchatat el kedusha. Now, if you're going to return this form, which would be the destroyer to the kedusha, uva techabduhu tachal shel bamritem v'zeh, and now you're going to honor it in this place. Tashivlo et asham kedusha. So now you're returning the asham to the holiness. Va'aru shnei yanim. So now they explain it in two ways. One, hakamot shel asham shiyum misparo chamisha. That the amount should be 5, each 5. Ha'echot shayu aflei zahav afei zahav. One is hemorrhoids of gold, and one is the 5 golden mice. And what's the reason? Because the plague was the same one for all of them and for the officers, which means toru. Here, because what we're learning is that the officers are equal to the entire people. So in other words, the expression is the buck stops here. In other words, you're in charge. Since you, Mr. President, or you, Mr. Officer, are in charge of those things, so you have to deal with it. And the mispar chamisha negi chamisha ashranim. So that's why we have the number 5, because there were 5 officers. And the 5 hemorrhoids were again are corresponding to the Saradim, the officers, which were the big people of the town. And now the 5 mice, which are small, they are opposite the nation. That are under them. You understand? She says the hemorrhoids, the real cause, the pain in the behind, is the officers. You're running the Seis. You should know what you're doing. You messed up. You're a pain in my behind. Okay, fine. Now, when it comes to the other thing, the mice, why do you need the mice? Because that's representative of the people. People are under the rule of the officers. So they. So what happens with them? Shekol Yavi Akbar Echad. So every nation will bring one mouse. Because the mice are the ones that destroy the produce of the field. And the techorim, the hemorrhoids, were opposite the fruit of the lands. So now you have 2 things. We'll have to stop here, but the hemorrhoids were for the 5 officers. That's why he has 5. That's the number 5. But they're also representative of the fruit of the land. Okay? The fruits of the land. While the mice, which were representative of the people, were also represented because mice destroy the produce of the field. As unlike the fruit of the land, they'll cut through the stalks, I guess. Okay? We'll have to stop there. Okay.
Black guy.